It's time to take a trip to the Iron Graveyard and pay our respects to 5 exercises that belong there. And at the same time, bow our heads in a moment of silence to all those that got hurt doing them. Today, guys, it's time to change all of that once and for all. What's up, guys? Jeff Cavaliere, AthleanX.com. Come take a trip with me today to the Iron Graveyard. We're going to dig up 5 of the worst exercises that you can be doing. Now, why do I call them worse? Well, first of all, guys, we have to qualify as a physical therapist and professional strength coach. I have to judge the merits of an exercise on its risk to benefit ratio. When I talk about that, I mean if I have overhead throwing athletes, pitchers, quarterbacks, a heavy overhead snatch is not the best exercise choice for me, especially when I know I have better options, right? One bad rep can end a career. Realizing that I don't have all professional athletes watching my channel, I still have to be able to provide you reasons why I feel that these may not be the best options for you, even if you're after just aesthetic growth, even if you're after just the purposes of looking better. Okay, so what I want to do is break down the 5 of them and give you my reasons of why I don't feel they're the best options, and then let you decide. Okay, no discussion of the worst exercises starts without bringing up the flies. Now, the controversy can get started right away. Guys, you know how I feel about this exercise. We know that a lot of people make the argument that doing chest flies increases the stretch on the chest. Right? Simply not true, because we know that the origin and insertion of the chest prevents that from happening. We know that with the chest, we can actually feel where it goes. If you put your hand across your upper chest, you can feel where it inserts over here onto your upper arm. Basically, when we're here or we're here, once we get to the bottom of what will be a bench press, this is the maximum amount we get on the stretch we get on the chest. So if we open our arm up even further, that doesn't do anything. It doesn't add any extra stretch. There's no more excursion here of this muscle. What we are feeling is a stretch on the coracobrachialis, which actually comes from here down to here. Now we can see if the arm were to go further back, that increases the stretch here on that muscle. But what are we doing here? Chest flies or coracobrachialis flies? We're not. And if we open up the arm and we increase the load that's out here and increase the length of the lever arm, that could potentially cause one bad rep, one bad overload, and cause us to have a torn pec. Again, if you're doing it for the adduction that we get from a chest fly, which is a great reason to do it, there are better options. As a matter of fact, why don't we get on our feet like we try to with AthleanX and do something more like the 3D cable crossover. All right, but that's number 1. Now let's go on to the shoulders. Number 2 are behind the neck shoulder press. We all know that there are a lot of ways that we can push a bar up overhead. I'm telling you that there's a better way, especially when we're looking at the health of our shoulders and the risk to benefit ratio. We know that any way we can get that bar up overhead is going to overload those shoulders, but the plane that we're doing it in can make all the difference. So when we talk about a behind the neck shoulder press, my issue with this, guys, is that we're pushing in an abnormal plane of motion when we look at the orientation of our shoulders in the joint. The glenohumeral joint is our shoulder joint, the ball and socket. They will angle forward at a slight degree forward like this. So basically, if the ball and socket moves inside that, the natural plane of motion is to be slightly ahead of us, okay? Slightly out in this direction, that way. If we go straight out to the side, not only are we causing the rolling of the ball in the socket to be abnormal, but we're also causing an increase in the likelihood for impingement. The reason for that is right here, where I can show you. Basically, we have our ball and socket like this, okay? If we take the ball in there and we go to move it up in the correct plane, you can see that it rolls inside that socket with plenty of room to come all the way up to the top. Okay? If we have our arm way out to the side over here, okay, it's going to be hard to show, but basically the arm's going to be going up this way. If we have it there, because the socket is rounded here, we start to hit the lateral portion of the socket right away, okay, as it goes up. That causes impingement. Secondly, when we're able to get our arms in front of us and push straight up, we're able to activate a nice balance between the upper traps and the serratus anterior. What that does is it causes the upper traps to pull this way, the serratus to pull down and around this way, so that our shoulder blade actually tips. By tipping here, we increase again the amount of space that we get in here for the scapular, for the glenohumeral head. So lots of reasons why we don't really want to be pressing way back here, and it's just as good to get our elbows in front of us and press up.